This is one that's got conspiracies abound attached to it, and I've read through some of them. I'll see if the article mentions them. It probably won't. But you've all by now seen that the Associated Press set out like a kill notice or something, basically saying do not use this picture. This picture has been doctored, and it was a photo of Kate Middleton, the wife of Prince William. I first, hard to keep up with the royals. There's so many. But basically, she's the wife of Prince William, a photo of her with her children. And it seems that it had been photoshopped and people were, blowing the picture up and zooming in on it. And yeah, it did seem that it was actually photoshopped. But let's have a look into some of the theories as to why that might have been. The Princess of Wales has apologised for confusion over edits to a newly released photo, which was pulled by several major photo agencies over concerns the image was manipulated. The picture, taken by Prince William for Mother's Day, had been the first image released by Kensington Palace since Catherine's surgery in January amid intense speculation about her health. So basically, people were thinking it was a way of them going, oh, yeah, she's fine. She's fine. Look, here she is, all happy, posing with her children. So people started going, what happened to Kate? Why has this been photoshopped? Is Kate dead? That was one of the theories. Some other theories were also that Kate and William went on the run, and they were on the run from the royal family, and the royal family released this image like everything's fine, haha. That was like one of them as well. But it probably, the thing is though, I mean, why was it photoshopped? I really want to know. BBC Verify has spoken to experts about how the image might have been altered. I see that was one of the things I seen as well. And there was other problems with like the jumper here and stuff like that. So, BBC Verify has spoken to Professor Hani Farid, an expert in image analysis, who said that editing could be a bad job of photoshopping. He identified a missing portion on the cuff of Princess Charlotte's jumper and a blur on Catherine's right hand and in hair on the right of her face. He said it was consistent with a couple of different explanations: poor photoshopping, artifacts of post-processing done by a camera to remove features like blurs, or a bad composite of images. There is a relatively new feature where you have a group of people, the camera identifies them through face detection, and it takes a series of photos in rapid succession, he explains. And invariably, what happens when you take a photo of a group of people is somebody has their eyes closed or someone's not smiling. And so what this feature does is it looks at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 photos, whatever, and composites them together. When it does that, it sometimes makes mistakes. Now, I'm surrounded by a bunch of camera equipment, but I don't take photos. I record video, so I'm not aware of it. Maybe that is a feature that exists, but it's not one that I use because I don't take pictures. I record video. Can you imagine if YouTube was just pictures? Jesus, that'd be boring. When it does that, it sometimes makes mistakes. Professor Farid could not find any evidence the image was generated by artificial intelligence, that was another theory, after running it through his own dedicated system. He also says there is nothing to suggest that Catherine's face was added in after the photo was taken. And there's another thing there's another little glitch that the zip doesn't line up, another thing they pointed out. BBC photo editor Phil Coombs also identified the issue with Princess Charlotte's sleeve, as well as an issue near Louis's legs where there was what looks like a jagged edge on the base of a wooden door. One possible explanation for some of the glitches would be if several photos were taken and shots were overlaid, perhaps because not all children were smiling in a single image. Questions remain about blurring on Catherine's right hand and misalignment of her hair and the zip on her jumper. There is also a green blur around Princess Charlotte's right knee, which is inconsistent with the grey paving stones in the background, or it could possibly be a green screen. Based on location makers like the white-framed windows and foliage, BBC Verify has identified the location of the photo shoot as Adelaide College, the Windsor home of the Prince and Princess of Wales. Yeah. Green screen. What editing is allowed by agencies? Photo agencies have a very low tolerance for any digital alteration of images. For example, the AP's photo standards allow minor photo editing such as cropping and colour adjustment when necessary for clear and accurate reproduction, but say an image should maintain the authentic nature of the photograph. Backgrounds should not be digitally blurred, and changes to the contrast or saturation levels that substantially alter the original scene are not permissible possible. Arthur Edwards, a royal photographer for The Sun, spoke to the BBC and described the process of submitting photos to agencies. They're really doing a lot to explain the entire process here, aren't they? You can photograph it, you can crop it, you can put a bit of sharpener on it if you have to, and then you send it, Mr. Edwards said. You don't alter the actual picture itself. For instance, if one of the people in the picture has red eye, you can't take the red eye out. You have to leave it as it is. That was a problem with cameras in the past, but it's not so much now. Like, I haven't seen any red eye photographs in a long time. All the red eye photographs I've seen are like old ones. But it was actually a good way of catching out cancer in the eye. See, if there was a red eye photograph and one of your eyes was red and the other one wasn't, go to the doctor. Kensington Palace said it would not be reissuing the original unedited photograph of Catherine and her children. Why not? That would clear everything up. That would just to clear everything up. I would do it. Yeah, my bad. We did a little bit of scoochie woochy, with the pictures. Here you go. Here you go, and that's. Okay, why wouldn't they just send out the original photograph, like, as proof? Okay, that's a bit weird. But BBC Verify has analysed an image released by the agencies PA and Reuters. PA initially distributed the photo from the palace to British news outlets under embargo. Analysis of the image's metadata, data about the photo image, shows that the picture was taken with a digital camera using a Canon lens. It was saved twice on photo editing software Adobe Photoshop using an Apple Mac computer, but we do not know if both of these versions were saved on the same device. The first version was saved on 8th March at 21:54 GMT, and the second was saved on 9th March at 9:39. Metadata in the Reuters version of the picture does not include any information about Photoshop saves, and says the version was created at 11:34 on the 10th of March. Yeah, the hand's a bit blurry and stuff like that. What did the Princess of Wales say? Kensington Palace had initially declined to comment when news outlets like BBC News and photo agencies such as PA Media asked for further information about the images. But in the last few hours, Catherine apologised and said she occasionally edited pictures. Her herself. She said in a written statement, like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday had caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day. Have royal photos been edited in this way before? Prince William and Catherine have previously issued their own photographs to the press and on social media. The images are often taken by Catherine to mark special occasions such as Father's Day. The princess is known to be a keen photographer. First I've heard. But anyway, while Catherine has acknowledged that she occasionally edits pictures, it's unclear if that includes previous official royal photos. Royal biographer and photographer Ian Lloyd claimed the manipulation of royal photos was nothing new, but that he had never seen the images criticised and withdrawn. I'm just saying, it's interesting. It's interesting. I never knew. Like, one thing as well is, like, my wife takes photos of the children all the time. I take photos of the children and stuff like that all the time. Like, if my child is doing something funny, I get the phone out. One of my favourite videos is Sadie running around the kitchen with, like, these big oven gloves, but because she's 3 this month, they, like, cover her entire arms, so she just looks like she has big, massive hands. And it was funny as hell, so I filmed it, right? But I don't post pictures. Basically, I post pictures of Morag, but I don't post pictures of Sadie, because my rule is, everyone's like, don't post your children online. I'm not. I post them when they're babies, because babies all pretty much look the same. Sorry, but they all look alike to me, right? But see, when they start to grow into their face, that's when I stop posting pictures. I stop posting pictures after that point. But like, yeah, so I understand, like, a mother wanting to take lots of pictures to her children and maybe doing a few touch-ups and stuff like that, but, her being a photographer, that's news to me. Like, Sue doesn't bust out Photoshop or anything like that, she just takes nice little pictures, but I suppose, if you're in the public eye like she is, maybe she does. I don't know, maybe this could be a complete nothing burger that is being exaggerated to, like, massive proportions. Maybe that is the case, but still, it's a bit weird.